Fox Sports.
We are Baltimore. We are Detroit.
Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Detroit is presented by
Bell Tire.
Well, the Kansas City Royals have left town and the Cleveland Indians have rolled in. These are two teams battling for a playoff spot. The Tigers trail KC by a half in the Central. Well, the Indians, they won't go away. They're right there as well, 4 games back in the Central Division. Hi again, everyone. Welcome to Tigers Baseball. Mario and Pemba alongside Ron Allen. Jack Morris with us as well. And we've got a terrific pitching matchup here for Game 1 in this series. And Jack, we'll start with David Price for the Tigers. This is why the Tigers acquired him. He's been awfully good in the month of September.
He certainly has. David Price is not only a durable former Cy Young Award winner, but he's pitched extremely effective in the month of September. And the Tigers knew that when they went and traded for him. And they want him to do what he has been doing. He pitched 8 2/3 innings his last outing. You see the numbers over his career in the month of September. A very good ERA and a 13-6 record.
All right, so Price will take the hill for the Tigers. He'll be opposed, Rod, by Carlos Carrasco. The last time the Tigers saw him, not a whole lot of success against him. Carrasco's been really good since rejoining their rotation.
Well, he was in their starting rotation in the month of April. He really struggled in that regard. He went to the bullpen, and he was lights out. Since going back to the starting rotation, really there's been no better pitcher in the American League. 4-0 with an ERA that's under 1, and, of course, that whip is under 1 as well. 10 strikeouts, career high against the Tigers the last time they saw him, but he did pitch in a little traffic. Tigers, if they can get some men on base tonight against Carrasco, they will need to drive in some of those opportunities that they failed to drive in a couple of starts ago for Carrasco.
All right, every game is big from now on. The Tigers and Indians both battling for a spot in the playoffs, and hopefully the Tigers will get off to a good start tonight. Coming up after a short break, we'll send you back to the Coliseum Studios. Check in with Justin White. Tonight, Game 1 of the big series in the D. Ready to go. The Indians come in having swept a doubleheader yesterday, right back in the playoff race. The Tigers, meanwhile, a half game back. And David Price on the hill for the Tigers. He is set to go to work. So are we. As Michael Bourne stands in, and here's the first pitch of tonight's ball game. It's a strike call. Michael Bourne batting .267, getting things started for the Indians. 3 home runs this year. He's knocked in 26. David Price making his 31st start of the season, and he'll bring home the 0-1. It's a strike call. 0-2 on Bourne. Bourne has hit safely in his last 3. Waiting on an 0-2 from David Price, just underway to cool, chilly evening here at Comerica. Here's a ball outside, and David Price tonight is presented by Family Heating, Cooling, and Electrical.
And there's the numbers for David this year. He's pitched extremely well all year long. Former Cy Young. He's leading the league in both innings pitched and strikeouts. And the Tigers need him to go deep again.
And he very nearly had another strikeout there. Bourne, who took ball 2 outside. Well, going deep into ball games, his specialty. Avila flashing the signals tonight. Here's the 2-2. Swing and a miss. Down he goes. Good start for David Price. 1 gone. Here is the rest of the lineup for the Indians, presented by the Metro Detroit Chevy dealers. Ramirez will bat second, and Michael Brantley, who this month is hitting .400. How about that? Santana's at first base. Gomes is catching. Kipnis at second. And a bottom 3 of Rayburn, Chisenhall, and Avilas for the Cleveland Indians. So here is Jose Ramirez, who we first saw the last time we went to Cleveland. He was a July call-up, and he looks at ball 1 high. Last time we saw him, Rod, he was a pretty good-looking hitter in the middle or the top of that lineup for the Indians.
Well, he's held his own in that number 2 spot. They traded Asdrubal Cabrera to the Washington Nationals, and Ramirez has been right there in that number 2 spot, doing his best damage and best work for this Cleveland offense.
He's only 21 years of age. Here's Terry Francona, the skipper of the Indians. Just when you think the Tribe is about to slide out of the playoff race, they rip off 5 of 7. And they swept the doubleheader yesterday. They're 4 games back in the division.
Well, they played very well down the stretch last year. You may remember in the month of September, they went 21-6, and they won their final 10 games of the year. So no doubt there are quite a few guys on their squad right now that believe, because they did it last season.
1 ball and 2 strikes on Jose Ramirez, and he swings and strikes out.
And David Price already has that outstanding fastball here tonight. That last one at 92 miles an hour, but it was located beautifully. Let's set the Tigers defensive alignment for you. You've got left field J.D. Martinez, you got Davis, you got Hunter in the outfield, Castellanos, Suarez, Kinsler, Victor Martinez at first base. 4th consecutive start for Victor. 31st start at first base this season.
You see the command of David Price. That's the key. You have the velocity, and you got yourself a guy who can literally strike out the side. David Price is one of those guys, but his command is what really sets him apart.
He'll face a really good hitter now in Michael Brantley, who's had himself an all-star season, and really, when you look at this lineup, is the one guy that you really don't want to face in clutch situations.
He's hitting .370 with runners in scoring position, which is 2nd in the American League, and he's worn out Tigers pitching pretty much since he put on that Tribe uniform.
Price quickly ahead, 0-1. And Brantley looks at a strike, and now it's 0-2.
Another plus about Brantley is you talk to Terry Francona, and he would prefer to have a whole roster of guys like him. He's just a great teammate and a great baseball player that, you know, understands what this game's all about. Came from a baseball family.
Low maintenance.
Yeah.
Now the 0-2. It'll bounce in 1-2 on Brantley. Well, Brantley against Price only 2 for 13. Yet when you look at his numbers against lefties this year, .275, which is really pretty good. And Brantley not afraid of too many, that's for sure. 1-2. Price has started the ball game with a couple of strikeouts. Bourne and Ramirez. Lifted in the air toward left field, slicing away from Martinez. JD coming on. It's going to drop. That's a base hit just inside the line. A 2-out single for Brantley.
Brantley gets set rather early because you're always looking for a fastball against David Price. And because he gets set early, every now and then the body will go, but the hands will stay back. And that was the case there on the last swing by Brantley. Caught just enough of it to loft it into shallow left field for the first hit of the game.
Good location right there on a breaking ball from David. Pitcher's pitch. You could tip your hat to the hitter. He got you.
Yeah, be careful here with Santana. His batting average is very low, but he's got some serious juice in that bat. 27 home runs right now for Santana.
He's one of the few guys in the Cleveland lineup that has had some pretty good numbers off David Price. 6 for 15 lifetime, a 400 average.
Price in his last start against San Francisco gave up 5 runs in 8 2/3, but he struck out 11. They got to him early in that game, and then David settled in. And there's another strike on the outer edge, and his control's been pretty good tonight so far.
He's got that fastball that will go anywhere from 92 all the way up to 97. He can put his foot on the gas pedal whenever he really wants to. He can command all 4 quadrants of the strike zone. He's got a real good cutter that catches the outside corner to the right-handed batters. He's got a plus breaking ball and a changeup that is literally unhittable when he gets it down.
Not a whole lot of moving parts to his delivery, is there, Jack? David Price?
No, he's a tall guy, and he's kind of figured out that keep it simple. Works real well for him. He doesn't have a very unique follow through, and basically he doesn't have a follow through. He recoils and pretty much stands straight up, but generates great velocity with the arm angle that he has.
Brantley at first has stolen 19. Santana had a big series that they just completed against Minnesota. It was 5 for 11, couple of home runs. And he looks at a ball outside.
Take a look at David's delivery here. He just lifts his leg, steps, and throws. His shoulders are where you want him, his arm and everything, but the follow through, he doesn't really have one. His back leg never gets up above his hip, and he's pretty stiff. I think the whole world realizes he probably could finish him off a little better and have a little more velocity, but he does have tremendous control because of his focus.
Santana comes in with 27 home runs, which has tied a career high for the Indians first baseman.
And they played a doubleheader yesterday, and he homered in the first game, and he also homered in the second game, and both homers gave his squad the lead, which they would not relinquish.
It spins up and in, 3-1. 16 home runs against the Central this year for Santana. That's the most against the division. Price has fallen behind 3-1. Bouncing ball shortstop side. Suarez high hop. Gun in time for the outside, retired. No runs, a hit, 1 man left. We go to the bottom of the first. Park. Tigers and Indians get together here in the first three. The Tigers starting lineup tonight, presented by your Southeast Michigan Ford dealers, features Kinsler, Hunter, and Cabrera at the top, and Miggy this year against the Indians off the charts. 415. Martinez, Avila in the middle, Castellanos, Suarez, and Rajay Davis rounding it out for the Detroit Tigers, and they are facing the right-handed offerings of Carlos Carrasco.
Carrasco, he's making his 11th start. He did start the year in the rotation, then went to the bullpen. So back in the rotation, he's been very, very good. 8 2/3 of innings in his last outing, and no walks, 8 strikeouts. So he's been pretty tough.
Let's take a look at the Cleveland Indians starting defense. It's brought to you by Tim Hortons. Left to right, they've got Aviles, Bourne, and Rayburn. Third to first, Chisenhall, Ramirez, Kipnis, Santana. Yan Gomes, he's their catcher. He's having a really good offensive season.
So here we go. The Tigers take their first swings against Carrasco as we go to the bottom of the first. It'll be Kinsler starting things off.
A couple of starts ago, Carrasco went up against the Tigers and gave up 10 hits in 5 in the third innings. But they were only able to score 1 run, and he went on to strike out 10 in that contest.
Yeah, that was that night in which the Tigers were frustrated inning after inning because of all the men they left on base.
Yeah.
They left 12 in that game before Martinez hit the home run late.
7 of those 10 strikeouts that he had in that game came with runners in scoring position. So he was able to get busy when the Tigers did have some traffic on the base paths.
You're seeing a little bit different strategy here. Obviously, Carrasco forgot that he's not in the bullpen anymore because he's thrown out of the stretch to start the game, but he feels more comfortable doing that.
Well, he started the season in the rotation, as you mentioned, and he was pitching so well when they put him in the bullpen. But now that he's back in the rotation, why not take that back out there with you?
1 ball, 2 strikes. Carrasco, 27 years of age, a native of Venezuela.
Really, Rod, if you compare the two, David Price and him, David is so simple in his thing. It's almost like he's thrown on the stretch anyway.
True.
Now the 1-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Kinsler.
That last pitch is his breaking ball, his slider, and he's got a good one. That's his go-to pitch when he's ahead.
Torrey Hunter waiting on deck. Tigers taking their first swings against Carrasco. Pulled foul. They really need him to come through because they dealt away Cliff Lee a couple of years ago, and really Carrasco is the only piece remaining in the organization within that trade or from that trade. And they're hoping that going forward, still at the age only at 27, he'll have a bright future. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Kinsler. Lifted back out of play. And it looks like, fellows, the Indians are starting to put some pretty good pieces together in the rotation, don't you think?
They got some power arms. They've got some guys that can really bring it, led by Kluber, who pitched yesterday. He's been outstanding. He's in the Cy Young conversation. Salazar has an outstanding arm as well. And Carrasco, we've well documented the fact that he can get up to 98 miles an hour with his heater, too.
Pulled on the ground to third. Nice backhanded play there by Chisenhall. 1 gone.
This is a real nice job by Chisenhall, really looking the ball into the glove on the backhand. And it's ever so slightly bending the knees, which put him in a real nice athletic position to adjust with the glove, and then plenty enough arm strength to throw the ball back across the diamond.
Could have turned into a tricky play, but Chisenhall played it nicely. 1 away for Torrey Hunter. And it brings us to our Bernstein advantage. It belongs to Torrey Hunter against Carrasco.
And Torrey can still hit that power fastball, and he's feasted on the fastballs that Carrasco has thrown him in his career.
Lifted back out of play, 0-1.
That's the one thing they say about Carrasco, and the fact that since he's pitched out of the bullpen, and he was coming out of that bullpen, he was in attack mode all the time with his fastball. Now he's carried that back into the rotation. In his last 6 starts, he's pitched ahead a bunch. He's working off the fastball, getting to the slider.
0-2.
It comes down to a couple words: trust your stuff. And I think a lot of the credit that he gives is to his teammates who are in the bullpen, who encouraged him to go out there and be aggressive. Trust your stuff. You've got good stuff. And a lot of times guys don't believe in their own stuff. They start nibbling. They try to make perfect pitches and they fall behind. Now he's just attacking, getting ahead.
1-2. Mickey Callaway, their pitching coach, and Kevin Cash, their bullpen coach. Also, Jack, the story recently came out that it was Callaway that went to Terry Francona and said, you got to get this guy back in the rotation. He's been really good. And Tito waited and waited and waited and finally put him back in the rotation, and they're happy that he did. Here's the 1-2. Torrey lines one and caught by the shortstop Ramirez. 2 up, 2 down. Here are tonight's field conditions presented by Ace Hardware and the Scotts Company. Well, it was a chilly day in the Motor City, and guess what? It's a chilly night. 60 at game time. It's damp, it's cloudy, but there is no rain, and for that we're thankful. But a cool September evening, starting to feel like postseason around here. Hopefully the Tigers will be a part of that this year. Here is Miguel Cabrera.
Carrasco made his major league debut right here in this ballpark on this mound back in 2009. So those are memories he'll have forever.
Mickey fouls it away on 1.
A lot of first pitch fastballs, but why wouldn't you when you've got 97, 98 in your back pocket? And the Tigers hitters know that. They've been swinging early and often, but they have not been able to barrel that fastball up yet.
Cabrera 9 hits on the homestand. Miguel tonight DHing. He tried to hold up. Tigers lineup today was held up a little bit. Brad Ausmus wanted to see if how Cabrera was feeling. They decided to DH him, and Victor again is out at first base. Here's Martinez on deck. And he has seen a lot of time defensively at first over the past couple of weeks.
Yeah, Brad said he was a little worried about running him out there every single day because he really hadn't done it all year, but he continues to run him out there.
1 ball, 2 strikes on Cabrera.
You don't see this very often either, but Carrasco throwing nothing but fastballs this at bat against Miggy. Usually everybody's trying to trick him. If they do get ahead, they're trying to fool him with a breaking ball. And Carrasco, he's throwing fastballs so far.
Swing and a miss. Struck him out. Cabrera goes down swinging. 1-2-3 inning for Carrasco.
Making the adjustments tonight against the Cleveland Indians. He saw them at the beginning of this month. He gave up 1 run to them, and he punched out 11. That fastball was lethal. He worked up in the strike zone on that outside corner against the majority of the right-handed batters. Every now and then he would drop a breaking ball in there, but he threw 105 pitches, and he won that ball game that evening.
Well, Price in the first inning gave up a single to Michael Brantley with no damage. He picked up a couple of strikeouts. That's something David has done a lot of. In fact, he came in leading the league in innings pitched and strikeouts. And the lefty goes back to work facing Yan Gomes, who looks at a strike 0-1. Gomes, Kipnis, and Rayburn here in the top of the second. It's been a really good year for Gomes. 288. Good power numbers. And hitting a salty 400 against Detroit pitching this year. He drives this one in the air to center. Rajay started back, now coming in. 1 gone. We'll bring up Jason Kipnis.
Torrey Hunter standing out there having a conversation with Raj. The old rules of the outfield is center fielder pretty much can take whatever he can get. Everybody else gives way to the center fielder, but Torrey, a former center fielder, is probably looking at him, hey man, standing right here. What are you doing?
Throw me a bone.
I'm sure that Torrey has taken his fair share of fly balls while he was playing center field from the right fielders and left fielders.
No balls, 1 strike on Jason Kipnis. To center field. This one, without question, is the property of Davis. 2 gone.
Well, we talked about the Tigers swinging early and often tonight against Carlos Carrasco because he's throwing a lot of strikes these days, especially with his fastball early in counts. But that's the book on David Price as well. You've got to swing early and often, and you've got to do it throughout the game because he doesn't walk many people, and he throws a lot of strikes. So if you're aggressive, you might be able to put the ball in play against David. Always throwing strikes.
Here is the former Tiger Ryan Rayburn. Batting with the bases empty, 2 outs. Drive one in the air toward left center field. Ball is hit well. Davis on the move. Martinez on the move. And that ball is gone. It's out of here. Rayburn has gone deep. His 4th of the year. And the Indians have taken a 1-0 lead. And he wasn't waiting around either.
25th home run that David Price has given up this year, and that's the reason why most hitting coaches tell their hitters, you can go up there, look for the first pitch fastball, and if he gives it to you, you can let it rip. That fastball, Avila wanted off the plate outside, but it leaked right back down the middle, and that allowed Ryan Rayburn to catch up with it and hit it into the Cleveland Indian bullpen.
David getting 2 quick outs. He's being aggressive, trying to get ahead in the count, throws strike 1. And that time Ryan Rayburn sitting on that fastball, didn't miss it.
Chisenhall looks at a ball outside. In what has otherwise been a rotten season for Rayburn, he has come through with a big home run here with 2 outs in the second. Chisenhall hits it on the ground and through into right field.
That is the 4th hit now that Chisenhall has against David Price in just 7 at bats, and he's hitting over 326 against left-handers this year. What a season it has been for Lonnie Chisenhall.
Started out red hot. Watch Kinsler on this last ground ball.
Yeah, it looked like he was moving to his right and didn't even make an effort to get to that ball. Obviously he thought it was hit harder than it was, but it looked like for whatever reason he was moving to his right instead of anticipating the ball.
Here's Mike Aviles now. Chisenhall with the 2nd consecutive hit now following the 2 fly balls to center.
Yeah, the only thing that I could think of regarding that last base hit that Chisenhall got that had Kinsler taking 1 jab step to the right is a fastball, and maybe David or Kinsler didn't think Chisenhall could turn on the David Price fastball.
0-1 on Aviles. Mike Aviles at 245 has really struggled in the second half of the year. He's under 200 for the second half. He'll shoot that one to right field. That'll go down the line. Chisenhall is on his way to third. Hunter picks it up. They're going to stop the runner at third base. Double for Mike Aviles.
And David Price really had no problem with the first 6 hitters, but it's been hitters 7, 8, and 9 that have gotten him in this inning. It's a cut fastball, breaking ball off the plate that Aviles simply slices the opposite way for a stand-up double.
Looked like Mike Sarbaugh thought just for a second about sending him home, but he made the wise decision. So with 2 outs and 2 on now, here is Michael Bourne. Struck out to start the game, 1 of 2 punch outs in that first inning for David Price. Ball 1. Indians now have 4 hits on the board. Lefties against David Price coming into the start. We're batting .291 against him. Although Bourne had little success striking out in the first inning, starting the ball game. Now the 1-0. Soft ground ball to short. Suarez charging. That'll end the inning. So nothing comes of the 2 hits following the home run by Rayburn. Part of Detroit and the community since 1849. By Jeep, come in and get a great deal of Jeep celebration events. And by Kraft Macaroni and Cheese, you know you love it. Back here at chilly Comerica Park tonight, the Indians on top of the Tigers. 1-0 is our score as the Tigers come up here in the bottom of the second. Victor Martinez, J.D. Martinez, Alex Avila facing right-hander Carlos Carrasco. Victor at .333 has just continued his assault on Cleveland pitching. 6 more home runs this season against Cleveland pitching. 6 of his 30 against the Tribe. They play him to pull on the infield. Martinez now 96 RBIs, and here's the shift that the Indians are employing. Back out of play, 1-1.
You would think, and more than likely the Indians, they know obviously more about Victor as far as pulling the ball, as far as their data is concerned, than most do. But you would think that a guy that's throwing 97, 98 miles an hour, maybe you wouldn't shade a hitter like Victor Martinez that much to the pull field, but the Indians do.
Well, the one thing, if you're Carrasco and you have that good fastball, you don't want to leave it on the outer half, because the guy will go with it. And when you're that quick to home plate, their bat's not going to catch up to it, so that's conducive to hitting the ball the other way. Chisenhall is the lone ranger on the left side.
There's a lot of room on that left side for Victor, and you don't hit 330. And by being a dead pull hitter, there's a lot of room down in that area.
Here's the 2-1. Well, the Indians did make an adjustment, because Chisenhall was more toward third until they got one strike on Victor, and then he moved up toward the bag at second.
You think maybe they thought that he possibly would drop down a bunt. That's why they had Chisenhall a little closer to third base initially.
Can you remember Victor doing that, though?
He attempted to do it in the last game, as a matter of fact. He wasn't successful, but he attempted to do it.
Gomes flashing the signals.
He wants the heater in.
Pulled foul.
And I guess if you're going to throw fastballs, that's where you're going to want them, on the inner half, because that plays into the shift.
I remember talking to Matt Martin, the defensive coordinator, a couple of weeks ago about these shifts that the Tigers will employ, and he was pretty adamant about the fact that the pitcher has to be on board, because if they're not on board with these defensive shifts, then they're not going to shift just to shift.
Well, it's part of the game that's really changed in the last few years, and I think it's here to stay.
He hits one right into the teeth of the shift there. Ramirez will spin and throw him out. That's a 6-3 ground out. Here are our selections for Tigers player of the game, presented by McDonald's new triple cheeseburger for just $2. I've got J.D. Martinez tonight.
Miggy is my man this evening.
I'm going with that guy on the mound again, David Price.
So you're going to take the pitcher the next two nights too, right?
I actually am. I'm thinking really strongly about that. Yeah.
Here's J.D. Martinez, my guy. Come on, J.D. He's hit at .303 with 20 home runs this year. .314 this season against Cleveland pitching. Ball inside, 1-0.
1/4 of the 20 big flies that J.D. Martinez has hit this year have come against Tribe pitching. He worn them out.
All part of the research that I conducted before the game, before I made my selection. The 1-0 pitch. Pulled, but right at the third baseman, Chisenhall. 2 gone. 5 up, 5 down now against Carrasco. He's going to bring up Avila. There are the numbers for Avila against the Indians this year. .342, 2 long balls. And they employed just about the same type of shift they had against Victor Martinez. Kipnis way back in short right field. And Avila takes ball 1. Who are some of the guys when you pitch, Jack, that you would shift on? I mean, nothing this severe, though, right?
You know, I honestly, Mario, never remember Sparky or any of my managers putting shifts on.
Ever.
I'm sure there's always a producer back there somewhere that'll remind me that I was wrong, but I'm sure they did. But they weren't complete shifts where a shortstop would move over to the other side or a second baseman. It would be like they just all
shading a guy.
Yeah, shaded a guy around the other way. But I really do believe this is a part of the game that there is enough evidence and enough track record with certain hitters that are unwilling to use the whole field, that they're gonna shift when conducive. You know, certain situations the game doesn't dictate that.
Rod, if you have a guy that doesn't use, say, the left side of the infield or the outfield, do you think that these shifts will begin to make them better hitters by going the other way?
Well, I think all hitters, especially your big hitters, whether it be Miguel, whether it be Victor, whether it be some of the other guys that they shift on with regularity, I think a lot of times managers will shift those guys just to get them thinking about doing something they normally don't do, and that's hitting the ball into the seats. They want a guy like Miggy trying to hit the ball the other way. They want Victor to take that base hit the opposite way versus trying to hit the ball into the gap. So I think it works for some guys because of that's what their data tells them. And I think they try to get in the minds of other guys.
Well, Carrasco has another 1, 2, 3 inning. Tigers baseball presented by Bell Tire.
Time of the year for baseball fans and ourselves as players. You know, these games, they mean a ton. It's what you've worked all year for, all off season for is the time right now. So these games are a lot of fun.
Well, and we mentioned at the top of the show tonight that David Price has been really good in these situations in September. And here are the numbers career-wise. This month, 3.09 ERA. He gave up a home run to Ryan Rayburn in the second. Here's Jose Ramirez. And he looks at ball one. It'll be Ramirez, Brantley, and Carlos Santana. There's the ball up high, 2-0 the count. Price got a couple of fly balls to open the second, but then he gave up the home run to Rayburn. Indians would go on to strand a couple of more runners in that frame. On the outer edge, 2-1. Indians coming into this ball game had won 5 of their last 7 contests. Pulled on the ground deep in the hole, diving stop there, Suarez, but he'll have to eat it. Leadoff man is aboard with an infield hit. Let's go back to the studio now for a game break. Justin White. All right, Justin, yeah, Ventura, well, he's going to be a tough opponent, tough matchup for the Red Sox. But Boston able to win that ball game last night, and as a result, the Tigers come in trailing KC by just a half. Here's Brantley. No balls, 1 strike on Michael Brantley. 2-out single, blue pit down the left field line his first time up. Lift toward left again, but this one will sail back out of play. 0-2 the count on Brantley. Quite a year, an all-star season this year for Brantley. .370 this year with men in scoring position. And he leads their team with 91 RBIs. A little bit high and away, 1-2. Indians have out-hit the Tigers so far in this game, 5-0. We're in the top of the third. In the air toward left. It'll be J.D. Martinez for the out. One away. Dangerous bat retired, and back to first base goes Ramirez. Here's Carlos Santana. Santana these days has settled into first base. Chisenhall got out to such a great start this year that he kind of took over third base. Santana's also caught. Santana bounced out to the shortstop his first time up. He's certainly not afraid to take his walk. He leads the majors with 101 walks this season.
David being very careful with the base runner Ramirez, simply because he understands the score. You've got Carrasco, who has pitched extremely well his last 4 outings, 4-0 with a under 1 ERA. You give up a run, what does that mean? Don't give up 2.
There goes the runner. Avila's throw. Tag. Got him at second base.
It's an exceptional job by David Price, making sure that Ramirez did not get too good a jump, did not get a really aggressive lead, and he really gave Avila enough time to throw the ball down to second base for Suarez to apply the tag. Actually, that's Kinsler that supplies the tag to Ramirez. Nice throw by Avila.
Perfect throw. Ooh, that's what happens when you go in head first. Every once in a while, the throw, not like they're trying to do it, but the throw is supposed to be right where Alex threw it, and you're going to slide into that.
And a wave and a miss. 1 ball, 1 strike on Santana. So Avila continues to do a really good job when he's given time to throw runners out. I mean, he's been very accurate. Numbers have been good this year for Avila. Came in at 33%. That is overall, but catcher stolen bases at 27%. There's a strike called, and the count goes 1-2.
Watch David Price's delivery again. We talked about how he rarely bends his back too much when he's releasing the ball, and then he kind of recoils and comes straight up. And what that tells me is when David is misfiring, it's usually going to be up in the zone because he's not finishing off in front. He does have great command. For a guy that has that kind of delivery, you would not think he would have the command that he does, but David is, and always has been, a very good control pitcher. But when he does misfire, it's usually up.
Tried to hold up, went around. Santana's out of there, and it turns into a much easier inning than anticipated for David Price. Another strikeout gives him 3 for the evening. Or Indians, I should say, on top of this one. 1-0 as we go to the bottom of the third. Let's check in with Lindsay Hayes now. She's got a very special Tigers fan with her.
Hi, Mario. Yes, I do. Tonight is Pink at the Park, and there are so many here honoring and remembering those that have been survivors of breast cancer. And I am joined by one of those beautiful ladies right now, and this is Pam Shapiro from Farmington Hills. She is a 2-time breast cancer survivor, first diagnosed back at 38, also 16 years later, her second diagnosis, but she just had her last chemo treatment on Tuesday. First, walk us through that battle and also what it's like to finally get that good news.
Well, it's always just a little scary when you get the news that what you have, and to have it then twice is also scary. But with the support of my friends and family and God, just my faith has brought us through this, and just something that you just walk through, and it gives you strength, but it also makes you weak. And so it's just something that, like, and anybody would be in this situation would walk through it the same. And it's just, yeah.
It's very touching. Well, she's wearing a crown, and I don't know if you can read it. It says the Killing It crown. Her daughter made it for her, very special. So many also, thousands wearing pink tonight in support of that. How special is it to see that support this evening?
Well, even when we just came out here, when the first game started, everybody was out there with pink, and it just like brought tears to my eyes just because of the support for people, that something that you have is so personal to you, that all these people are supporting you, and like there's so many people that support you. You don't even realize how many people love you when you're in this situation, until you're in this situation. And but just to see all these people become more aware of it, and early detection is so important. And so it's just touching to see you in pink and everybody in pink and my daughter's little pink crown. So, yes.
Well, thank you for your time. You are so beautiful. And just an extra reminder, guys, tell those that you love them. Back to you.
All right, Lizzie, thank you very much. Breast cancer awareness being heightened here at the ballpark tonight. And then Pink Out the Park night here. What a great story. Carrasco going back to work here as he faces Suarez in the third. It's 1-0 in favor of the Indians. Castellanos leading it off with a single, and Eugenio needs a new bat. .247 batting average for Suarez. He's hit 4 home runs this year. Maybe that single by Castellanos will get the Tigers offense jump started here. 6 straight retired by Carrasco to start the game. Checked it. He will appeal. Did not go.
If you're the Tigers, you pretty much know that Carrasco's going to go to that slider. And it's a pretty good slider with 2 strikes, but you can't look for it. He's got 95 and above with just about every fastball he's thrown. You just hope he leaves one of those breaking balls up over the heart of the plate that you can hit. Something you can do some damage with. Here comes another one of those sliders.
Swing and a miss, and he got Suarez with it. 3rd strikeout now for Carrasco.
He's got some outstanding stuff. Plus fastball. He's already been up to 98 miles an hour. But then when he gets on top of that breaking ball like that, it looked like a fastball coming out of his hand until about the last 5 feet. And that's exactly what Suarez saw. He started his swing, and the ball ever so slightly slid to the outside corner, missing the bat of Suarez.
I guess the question is, why has it taken so long for it all to click in for Carrasco like it has this year?
Well, when you're fighting command and you don't trust your stuff, and I think that was his biggest issue. He had the ability, it was there, but it took people to reassure him and trust in his belief that I can do this. And when you're fighting command, you're always thinking that you have to be perfect, and that even creates bigger problems sometimes. You're misfiring more than you should be, and all of a sudden one day you wake up and say, all right, I'm going to listen to these guys, I'm going to let it go, see what happens. And when you let it go, all of a sudden your release point's better, you start getting more consistent, and then your confidence grows, and then you really start understanding you can do it over and over and over.
Rajay Davis standing in. 1 ball, 1 strike on Davis. Well, Carrasco certainly has begun to do it over and over and over. He's not lost in his last 6 starts since joining the rotation. Not walking many guys. He's ready with the 1-1. Grounded foul, 1-2.
Take a look at Carrasco's delivery here. He does pitch out of the stretch, picks up his leg, head still, but really he's got great extension. His arm just comes flying through, and he gets that ball out in front of him. He throws hard, and he's got very good mechanics. Very simple.
Here's the 1-2.
Pitchers never should watch the flight of the ball. They're picking up the target, the catcher's glove, and if you're watching the ball, you're never going to throw strikes. You're never going to throw to the target. And therefore, in a pitcher's mind, it's a fraction of a millimeter. You've got to be so in tune to where your arm is and your release point. And the whole idea is to repeat a good release point.
Runner goes, grounded toward 3rd. Tough play, Chisenhall, and a one-hop throw is in time. When Davis is out, runner will move to 2nd. 2 gone for Ian Kinsler.
It's a nice play here by Lonnie Chisenhall. 2nd nice play of the day for him. Comes in bare hands. It gets a tricky hop, which would be the short hop. Bounces it across the diamond, but Santana able to bail him out. You saw Castellanos on the move on the 1-2 pitch. It's not that Castellanos has good speed, but the Tigers know that Carrasco is prone to throwing breaking balls in that count. Therefore, they gambled and sent Castellanos.
Here's Kinsler now, a 2-out chance to tie this one up with Nick at 2nd base. In there for a strike.
It's also something that we noticed about Carrasco. He's got a big arm. He's got a great fastball. But every time the Tigers would get a runner in scoring position a couple of starts ago, when they went up against Carrasco, and they had a lot of runners in scoring position, he would simply start guys off with a breaking ball and a changeup and then get back to his fastball.
Another good foul.
1st pitch breaking ball, 2nd pitch 95. Kind of crowded in Kinsler, kind of put that thought of the breaking ball in Kinsler's mind.
And as a result, he's gotten him 0-2 now. Ian bounced out to the 3rd baseman Chisenhall, who made a nice play back in the 1st inning. Down the right field line, slicing, gonna drop, base hit, and it's gonna roll by Raven. Off the sidewall to 2nd base, Kinsler, 2 out, hit ties it up. An 0-2 hit.
Even though that ball got by Rayburn in right field, he really kind of caught a break, because if it didn't hit that area that comes out, that ball might have rolled into the corner. Kinsler could have been on his horse. You got a triple for sure. See, it hit that corner of the padding right there.
Well, he really was fortunate. So it's a 1-1 ball game. 38th double of the year for Ian Kinsler, and that's his 79th RBI. Torrey takes fastball inside 1-0.
Yeah, something the Tigers were unable to do a couple of starts ago against Carrasco, and that's get a hit with runners in scoring position. They're able to do so here in the third inning.
Bounce foul. Hunter line to the shortstop his first time up. He's 0 for 1. It's been a really good homestand for Torrey. 11 hits. Tigers have gotten David Price a run back. Now trying to give him the lead. Foul back 1-2. Carrasco allowed the leadoff single, got a couple of outs, and then Kinsler doubles in the run. See if Torrey can shoot that right side of the infield. Kipnis shading a little bit toward the bag. They're not really holding Kinsler around all that much. And the 1-2. Bouncing ball foul, first base side. 1 run, 5 hits for the Indians. A run on 2 hits for the Tigers. First of 3 this weekend before these Tigers hit the road. They're going to hit the road on Monday. They go to Minneapolis and then into Kansas City. Season winding down. Bouncing ball left side of the infield. Chisenhall with the hop. Up the line. Torrey is tagged out. That'll end the inning. However, the Tigers able to tie it up on a 2-out hit by Kinsler. Major League Baseball's drug policy.
Well, that's very unfortunate for the Baltimore Orioles because he will not be eligible to play until 8 games into the postseason if Baltimore is fortunate enough to get in 8 games.
Giancarlo Stanton, I don't know if you saw the replays last night, but he sustained multiple fractures.
Yeah, that was an ugly situation. You know, pitchers, nobody ever tries to hit a guy there, and obviously Stanton never picked up the ball, hit him right in the face.
Here come the Indians now. Yan Gomes looks at a strike in the outer edge, 0-1 on Gomes. Kipnis, Rayburn to follow. Fly ball to center for Gomes, his first time up. Coming off a big month of August, in which he had 349. Here's the 0-1. Gomes sends it high in the air to center, but it'll get swallowed up by that center field and caught by Davis, 1 out. That's the second time he has flied to Rajay.
Very similar at bat to his first at bat. Similar swing, similar pitch, and very similar result.
Here's Jason Kipnis. In there for a strike, 0-1. Kipnis 2 out of 10 in the series they just completed against Minnesota. It's just been one of those years for a guy that really had a breakout and a terrific year last year.
Never really got on track. He went on the disabled list late April with that right oblique strain and really just has not been able to catch up. Made an all-star team last year, as you mentioned.
Indians sign him to a nice long extension. Ball outside, 1-2. .280 last year, .247 this year. Power numbers way down as well. Swing and a miss, and Price able to dust him.
You see some of the highlights here for Chris Davis, and there's no question that he was an integral part of the Baltimore Orioles lineup, and the fact that he will not be allowed to play for 25 games could really be a damper on their season. Very unfortunate, but drug policy is there trying to clean up this game, and I don't know. It's disheartening for me. I can honestly say that. I wish in some ways there would be a chance to eliminate it. I don't know if there ever will be in the game. Wherever there's that big a reward, the risk, there's going to be always guys to roll the dice and see if they get caught or not. But it's a very unfortunate situation for the Orioles.
Rayburn has his second hit. It's a 2-out single.
Yeah, first time up, Rayburn had a fastball that he hit into the Cleveland bullpen. That time he took a changeup at 80, and that was up in the zone and hit it right back through the box. Here's that changeup grip. Actually, that's a breaking ball thrown there by David Price that stayed up in the strike zone.
So against David Price now, Rayburn is 7 for 18. These are updated numbers with his 2 hits tonight, the homer and the single. A cool 388. Chisenhall sends a ground ball to second. Right there is Kinsler. Easy out. 1, 2, 3. Well, actually, no. Single by Rayburn. The ground out and the inning. Miguel Cabrera coming up. It'll be Cabrera, Martinez, and Martinez. Time now for the Lowe's Never Stop Improving staff. How about the September surge for 3 Tigers in the lineup in the month of September? Man, they've been good.
Well, Torrey Hunter, he's been setting the table. He's been batting in that number 2 spot for a long time now. And Victor Martinez and also Miggy, every time they get a chance to drive in a run here in the month of September, it seems like that's what they're doing.
Cabrera struck out his first time up. Tigers able to tie it up on the RBI double by Ian Kinsler.
Yeah, a lot of fastballs by Carrasco to Miggy. The Miggy's first time up, then he finished him off with a breaking ball. This time he starts him off with that slider. It's one thing about the game up here when you're going up against the game's best hitter. You cannot pitch him the same way from at bat to at bat, and really you have to change on Miggy from pitch to pitch.
We'll get back out of play 0-2.
Even though he doesn't have the strong base right now that he normally does have, because he's been playing on a bad right ankle all season.
That's just it, especially the good hitters. You cannot be in a pattern. They will figure you out in a hurry. And the game's always about adjustments, both for the hitter and the pitcher. And you're playing a little mind game sometimes about what you think he's hitting.
Oh,
hit his glove.
Carrasco still has a chance, and he threw it away. Cabrera's on his way to second. He'll get there standing up. A rocket hit right back to his glove. He was able to knock it down, but do no more. Single E1.
Take a look at how Carrasco attacked Miggy in the second plate appearance. First pitch breaking ball, comes back with another fastball. Then whatever this third pitch was, which is a real good breaking ball down, it about undressed Carrasco. Looked like he had plenty enough time to get Miguel Cabrera, but he threw the ball wildly down the right field line, and by the time they were able to run it down, Miguel Cabrera was able to get to second base. Good hustle by Miggy.
Bill Tyer pitch by pitch, and that sequence almost resulted in Carrasco getting drilled.
That's a scary thing. Pitcher throws the ball as hard as he does, and the ball probably came out of his hand in the low 90s, came back to him over 100 miles an hour. He's only about 55 feet away, and he's got a fraction of a second to react to the ball that's coming at his head. Somehow gets his glove up there, deflected. That's just for protection.
We also talked about the fact that you have to change the way that you're going to get Miggy out. Carrasco got him out with a slider his first time up, and he tried to get him out with another breaking ball there on 0-2. He just got way too much plate. It's a breaking ball that's down. It's away. It's whistled off the bat to Miguel Cabrera and right off the glove of Carrasco. Santana still learning first base. Looked like he took his stride a little bit premature over there and really couldn't make the adjustment in slowing back, getting back to help Carrasco out at all.
The good news as well is that Cabrera running as hard as he did, showing no ill effects from that.
Yeah, the day off yesterday may have helped that right ankle for Miggy. I'm sure it did.
Now Victor Martinez, a chance to give the Tigers the lead. In there, strike one in the outer edge.
Victor's an unselfish player. And with nobody out and a runner on second base, he'll try to hit something through the right side of the infield. But if he doesn't hit it through the right side of the infield, he will simply take that ground ball to second base, which will get Miggy over to third.
Down the left field line, foul.
And if you're Miguel Cabrera, if you do take off on the ground ball to the right side of the infield, the Indians know you're not running well right now. So if the ball's hit sharply to Kipnis or Santana or Ramirez, you need to make sure you can get over there. Those guys might just try to throw you out at third base. You don't see it very often, but every now and then you'll see a defender that's thinking along those lines.
0-2 on Martinez. Way inside. Good block there by Yan Gomes. Hey, just a reminder, as you enjoy a cold one, to look forward to Miller Time later in tonight's game, brought to you by Miller Lite. Indians have 6 hits. Tigers have 3. We're in the bottom of the 4th. Cabrera at second with nobody out. Two and two.
Carrasco knows the situation here. He just gave up a hit to one of the best hitters the game has ever seen, and now Victor having that kind of year himself, you kind of realize that these are the guys you want to let beat you. Carrasco's being very careful to Victor.
Two balls, 2 strikes. JD Martinez on deck. Carrasco started this game by retiring 6 in a row. Then the Tigers got him for a run back in the 3rd.
And one thing you like about Miguel Cabrera, he's always looking around. He's looking over his left shoulder, looking over his right shoulder. He's always looking at the outfielders. He wants to make sure he knows exactly where everybody's playing. He doesn't want to make a mistake on the base pass with nobody out, especially on a line drive. Good heads-up base runners, Miguel. Not blessed with tremendous speed, but he's got great instincts.
There's that ground ball to the right side. It'll advance the runner.
He's a pro. Victor is a straight-up pro.
So now the go-ahead run is at 3rd with 1 away. We'll bring up JD Martinez.
And now it's up to JD to finish off what Victor just did. Set the table for him. He needs to be able to get a ball deep enough in the outfield or a base hit.
Well, the one thing that JD Martinez needs to concentrate on here is getting a fastball up in the strike zone and not to get too greedy with it. If Carrasco does give him that first pitch fastball, and you do not want to swing at a breaking ball out of the strike zone because you're so aggressive trying to force the issue into driving in the second run of the evening for your squad.
Swing and a miss.
Case in point right there.
JD did a good job against Kansas City in one of the games in the recent series. He was able to hit the ball to right field, get the runner in.
Yeah, that was a bases loaded situation real early in the game, and that was a great at bat by JD.
Now Carrasco with the 0-1. Swing and a drive. It deep into left field, way back, and that ball is way gone. JD continues his assault on Indians pitching.
Those are no doubters right there.
Carrasco got ahead of himself. He was able to throw that first pitch breaking ball and bury it at the bottom of the zone against JD Martinez, and he tried to sneak a fastball at 93 by JD, and JD wasn't having any of that. And that is now the 6th home run of the year that Martinez has hit against Tribe pitching. He owns them.
He hit the game-winning home run the last time the Tigers faced Carrasco in the 9th inning. This time he goes deep, a 2-run shot. And the Tigers have a 3-1 lead.
Yeah, nice job by Miggy getting on base. Victor Martinez just kind of kept the line moving, giving himself up to get JD Martinez into a situation where he could do the damage. Jack, I got a question for you. Now, he struck JD Martinez out with a breaking ball already. He's seen him as far as the breaking ball is concerned. Then he comes back and he throws another first pitch breaking ball and then tries to sneak that fastball by him. What's Carrasco thinking?
Well, obviously he didn't want to leave it that much at the plate. That wasn't part of the plan. Unfortunately, in this game, you make mistakes to good hitters. in situations where there's runners at third base, you're going to pay. He paid right there, but I'm sure he was trying to run that fastball inside a little bit more off the plate so that he could go back to that breaking ball and get him to chase again. Trouble is, JD made him pay for the mistake pitch.
Avila looks at a ball outside, 3-1. 3 runs on 4 hits now for the Tigers. 2 runs shot by Martinez, his 21st. And it's come against a guy, Carrasco, that has been awfully good in his 6 starts since coming out of the bullpen. Fouled away, 3-2. Avila struck out back in the 3rd.
I haven't seen near as much of Tiger baseball as you two guys have this summer, but what I've seen of JD Martinez here this week, in a short sample size, I realize what a good fastball hitter he is.
Yeah, he doesn't miss many of those.
3-2. He walked him. Third base runner of the game, or the inning, I should say, for the Tigers now. Time now for you to tweet your photo using hashtag #DetroitFanPhoto for a chance to have it shown in an upcoming game broadcast. It's brought to you by AT&T. By the way, just to go back to the top of the broadcast, I selected JD Martinez as the player of the game.
Yeah, you did.
Well, I got news for you. David Price goes 9.
Yeah, whatever.
We're going to have a little argument.
Well, I'm going to stay out of it today until my guy shows up. And he's shown up, but I'm not going to say nothing. Still a long way to go.
Here's Castellanos. And a ball outside, 1-0. It's going to bring Gomes out to the mound now to have a chat with Carrasco. Nick had a single, scored a run in the 3rd. That tied the game. The Tigers have since gone ahead.
And we talked about this a little bit earlier in the game, and Jack brought it up, the fact that Carrasco was in the stretch at the beginning of the game. Take a look at his numbers as a starter, 14 and 22. He's been good as a starter in his last 6, but those games as a reliever is where he kind of really found himself earlier this year before being reinserted back into the rotation, and that's the reason why he simply goes from the stretch. He was really good pitching out of the stretch, coming out of the bullpen this year.
You can look at it 2 ways. There's been a tremendous amount of guys who have had a chance as starters, didn't have success, go to the bullpen and somehow find a life out there in the bullpen. But there's very few guys that come out of the pen and become starters. Carrasco's gotten another chance, and I think that opportunity in the bullpen made him realize what a good life it can be as a starter. You get the days off. You don't have to get up every day. You know, you don't have to know if you're going to be in a game or not. You really have your schedule already decided. But he took the most of that opportunity, and he's back in the rotation.
There's also financial rewards for being a really good starter in the major leagues. If you're a 500 pitcher, you're going to get broke off a nice piece of change. Whereas if you're not a closer in the bullpen, you're just not going to make the same kind of money. So most guys that pitch in that bullpen that have the stuff, they would love to be starters.
1-2 sails outside, 2-2 now on Castellanos.
I guess really what I'm curious to see is at some point if Carrasco will pitch out of a windup again, or if this is something that he may stick with. You never know.
He's ready with the 2-2. Swing and a miss. Nick is down on strikes. And there are 2 outs. Tonight's broadcast, by the way, is on AFN, the American Forces Network, broadcasting to the U.S. Armed Forces, serving 175 countries and aboard ships at sea. They're watching around the world in Iraq, Germany, Italy, Southwest Asia, South Korea, and Japan. We welcome you all.
And thank you all.
And thank you all is right. So David Price now has a little bit of a lead to work with here. 3-1 is our score. Here is Eugenio Suarez. And he looks at a strike 0-1. Suarez struck out in the third. Pulled foul.
Suarez had about 4 days off in a row while Andrew Romine was manning that shortstop position. And Brett Osmond said the fact that Romine was playing well, he was stealing bases, he wasn't making any mistakes at the shortstop position, is the only reason why he was starting over Suarez for the last 4 games.
Suarez's last start was Saturday against San Francisco. Now he's back in there tonight. A little bit outside. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Suarez struck out in the third. One of 4 strikeouts tonight for Carrasco. Here's the 1-2. Pulled foul.
Hanging breaking ball there thrown by Carrasco, but he got away with it.
That one stayed enough inside that it actually tied up Suarez.
Yeah, when you throw 98 miles an hour and the hitter's up there looking for that 98 mile per hour heater, if you throw that spinner up there, that cement mixer, and there's no doubt most hitters' bats are going to be in front of home plate. And it's very difficult to keep that ball in fair territory.
That one's pulled again right by Chisenhall into left. Avila will stop at second base. Suarez with a base hit.
Well, he hung the previous breaking ball to Suarez, and he pretty much came back with the same hanging breaking ball at 79 miles an hour. And there was Suarez waiting for this one, and he was able to keep this one fair, and he hit it right past the third baseman, Lonnie Chisenhall.
Callaway going to come out and talk to his pitcher a little bit here. Yeah, he got away with a backup slider on the first one, and then a hanger. You got to tip your hat to Suarez. It was a good at bat.
It was looking early on in this game like Carrasco was going to do his James Shields impersonation. He was really good through 2 innings. The Tigers, though, had gotten him the last 2. And so the conversation continues, and we tell you that Sunday the Tigers are hosting the Indians at 108. Sunday Kids Day. All kids 14 and under receive a free back-to-school sandwich case. Call 866-66-TIGER or visit tigers.com for more information. Nice crowd on hand here again tonight. Pretty good gathering here for game 1 in this series.
Need your jacket tonight. A little chilly out there.
No doubt. It may be that way the rest of the year.
It's beautiful. It's fall. The leaves are soon to be falling.
So the guy from Minnesota.
Right.
Hey,
CC Lee warming up.
Friday night in Motown. They're here.
Here's the 28th pitch in this inning now for Carrasco as Davis stands in. Rajay hits a ground ball up the middle. It'll be gobbled up there by Ramirez to end the inning. However, the Tigers take the lead courtesy of J.D. Martinez. Long home run to left, his 21st of the year. Bernstein Law Firm, official legal services sponsor of Fox Sports Detroit. And by Chevy Truck Month, where great deals and great trucks come together at your Chevy dealer. Campus Martius on a September evening here. The Tigers on top 3-1. JD Martinez going deep. 2-run shot has given the Tigers their first lead of the game.
Where would the Tigers be this year without JD Martinez?
Well, I'd rather not think about that. JD with 21 home runs. So what do you have, 10 at AAA this year? So now 31 at 2 different levels this year. There's a strike called on Mike Aviles.
Released by the Houston Astros in spring training.
Aviles born in Jose Ramirez. Pop a foul back out of play. 0-2 on Aviles. Had a 2-base hit back in the second. The Indians had gotten a run on the Rayburn homer. They were threatening for more, but Price shut it down. David has picked up 4 strikeouts in this game. He came into the contest leading the American League in strikeouts.
We talk about shutdown innings. It's up to David to do that right here again. His only real tough go was back in the second inning where he gave up the 1 Indian run.
It's a good pitch there by David. Fastball at 91 inside. He can simply double up with the fastball again inside, which a lot of pitchers do not do these days, or he could simply fade a changeup or a breaking ball, anything off the outside part of the plate.
2-2. Michael Bourne waiting on deck. Aviles waiting on a 2-2 offering. Get back out of play.
Michael Aviles got that unusual bat wave to kind of get his timing set.
You wouldn't teach this at home?
Well, no. The answer is I would not. But my point is, every once in a while he gets caught in it, and that creates a lot of bad bats for him.
Popped up. Can Avila get there? Up against the screen. What a play by Alex.
Look out, Spider-Man.
Avila climbs the screen, and Aviles is out.
It's just a trampoline right there.
Great play.
It's a nice job by Avila. This ball did not get that high, but he found it rather quickly. He knew where he was once he got to the warning track. Takes a little jump. Didn't catch it cleanly, but still caught it. Spikes got caught in the net, but Avila came out of it okay. Looked like a receiver there going for a touchdown.
Here's Michael Bourne. Showing bunt.
He almost dropped this ball.
Not a lot of help from the kid in the front row.
Here's the 1-0. He offers a bunt, but apparently pulled it back 2-0.
It's not every ballpark that you actually have the netting going all the way down to the ground. There's usually a row of bricks there or something. But in that particular spot, Alex is free to just jump into the net.
Bourne looks at ball 3 down low, 3-0.
That is only the second 3-ball count of the evening by David Price. He had a start earlier this year where he did not have 1 3-ball count the entire game, and he pitched 9 innings, well 8 innings that day.
Strike call. Is that the Tampa game?
Yeah, against his former team. Gave up that 1 run in the first inning.
Michael Bourne thought it might have been high. Fox track says no. You did see there, Mario, that it did catch.
Yeah, I did. It doesn't have to catch much of it.
No.
Just some of it.
Any part of the ball.
I don't know if you've noticed this, Jack, but Mr. Fox Tracks, he's always right.
And he gets upset when you question him.
The bad thing with Mr. Foxtracks is
what? The bad thing?
Well, the thing that doesn't explain things to me is where it doesn't show the depth of the plate. Is it out in front?
Well,
is it in the back?
We'll get on that.
3-2.
I remember Frank Tanana always telling the umpire, hey, it's got 5 corners on it. No, any part of the plate. See, that shows the strike zone, but is that...
You want to apologize?
No. No, because I need the depth, too.
3-2. Look, it's a box. And if the dot lands in the box, it's a strike. There's a strike call, just like that.
Nice job by David Price coming back to get Michael Bourne after falling behind. 3 balls, no strikes.
David has not walked a hitter today, and he comes back. Great job right there. We're not going to argue that strike.
2 gone. Talking about strikeout leaders, and David Price leading that list. 248 now for Price.
3 of the 4 in the building tonight. Corey Kluber of the Indians also in the building, along with Maxwell Scherzer.
Ramirez fouls it off.
We'll not see Corey Kluber in the series.
That's a good thing.
Well, the Tigers have pretty much worn him out, though. So, I mean, it's not all bad for him to miss us, too.
Those 2 guys know a thing or 2 about strikeouts.
Fouled away. Ramirez, 1 out of 2, had an infield single, but then later was caught trying to steal. Indians got their only run back in the 2nd, and the 2-out solo shot by Ryan Rayburn. Ground ball to short. Suarez on the backhand. His throw is in time for the out. 1-2-3 inning for David Price. Little help from his buddy, his battery mate, Avila. Scales the screen. A terrific play. Tigers baseball tonight presented by Bell Tire. It is the bottom of the 5th inning here at the ballpark. 3-1 in favor of the Tigers tonight. Game 1 in this series on Pink Out the Park night here at the ballpark as we raise awareness for breast cancer research. And Breast Cancer Awareness Month coming up in the month of October. So this will help raise some awareness. As Ian Kinsler starts it off, we go to the bottom of the 5th inning. 3-1 Detroit. Carrasco back out there, and Ian looks at ball 1. Kinsler, Hunter, and Cabrera, top 3 for Detroit. RBI doubled back in the third, tied the game at that point at 1-1. Inside part of the plate, 1 ball, 1 strike. Kinsler sends a ground ball to third, flag there by Chisenhall, spinning and throwing him out.
He's been flashing some leather down at that hot corner already here tonight. Couple of steps to the left, goes down to one knee, able to get up rather quickly, turning around and firing a strike. Across the diamond is Chisenhall. Here's a couple of other plays that he's already made in the game here. Nice backhand. Ball headed down in the left field corner, and then Rajay Davis in the third inning.
It's a really good play against a guy that can really run.
It's the second consecutive series where the third baseman has made some really nice plays. It was Moustakas of the Kansas City Royals was playing some really good defense in that series before the Royals left town.
Strike called on Torrey Hunter, and it's 0-2. Torrey a line out and a ground out. Little chopper slowly back toward the mound. Barehanding is Carrasco, who throws him out.
Let's revisit Miguel Cabrera's last couple of at-bats. His first at-bat today, Carrasco gave him a lot of hard stuff. They were fastballs that he led Miggy off with, able to get ahead of Miggy. And then he finally put Miguel away with just an outstanding breaking ball that was down and away that Miggy couldn't hold up on. And then in Miggy's second time up today, and we're going to take a look at the second at-bat now, starts him off with a breaking ball, then he goes fastball, and then he goes back to another breaking ball, and Miggy was sitting there waiting for it and about knocked the glove off of Carrasco. So how will he pitch Miggy this time?
The thing about that ball that he hit, it was a good located slider, but Miguel was looking for it.
And it's going to be an easy 1-2-3 inning as they get Cabrera to ground out. 5 in the books. 3-1 Tigers. Top of the 6th inning here. David Price been cruising along in this one after the home run he allowed to Ryan Rayburn in the second. And you'll go to work here in the 6th inning facing Michael Brantley, Carlos Santana, Yan Gomes. This will be the middle of the lineup to face Price, and here are his numbers after 5.
No walks by David Price, 5 strikeouts. He's given up 1 earned run. He's given up 6 hits as well. That would be the home run that Rayburn hit. That's the only earned run surrendered so far tonight by the Tigers left-hander.
Tigers have been out hit by the Indians 6-5, but they lead by 2. Brantley leading it off. Brantley single and a flyout.
David Price's last start against the Giants, 8 2/3 of an inning, only 1 walk in that game. So he's the guy that throws the ball across the plate.
He's also a guy that you need to pack a lunch when you come to the ballpark too, and dinner, because he's going to be out there for a while. And David Price, usually when he toes the rubber, he's out there for 7, 8 innings, and on many times this year 9 innings. And really what he does is he really helps your team the day before he pitches, because if you're the manager, you can pretty much use whoever you want to use in that bullpen, because Price is going to give you 8. And on the day when he's out there, you don't need many people. Then the next day, because your bullpen's rested, you're good to go with whoever that starter is. So he affects 3 days of pitching: the day before, the day of, and the day after.
The career numbers against the Indians awfully good. 6-1 in 8 starts. The ERA sub-3. The 1-2 is inside. 2 balls, 2 strikes now on Michael Brantley.
And you see him changing speeds on that breaking ball. That's another thing that David Price can do. That one he took a little off of. He can throw a harder one than that.
Rolled foul.
When he first came up to the big leagues, he was 97, 98 max effort guy most of the time, and he already had good off-speed pitches. But the pitching coach down in Tampa, Jim Hickey, second year that David was in the big leagues, he encouraged him to work on his off-speed pitches. Really get a feel for your off-speed pitches. You can throw them sometimes in fastball counts. You can finish guys off with those pitches. And because of that, now he works very efficiently with his off-speed pitches, and he can reach back to get that mid-90s fastball whenever he wants to, but he doesn't stay there very long.
Suarez will scoop this one up, and Brantley is out. Let's send it back down now to Lindsay Hayes.
Hi, guys. Well, tonight has really been a mix of emotions. We just had the salute to all the breast cancer survivors and also those that were battling. I'd like to introduce you to Paula Longwell and her entire family who are here this evening. And there were a lot of tears and smiles and strength that was just happening in that salute. Her sister is here as well. Angie, what has this night meant to you?
Oh, God, everything. She's not only my best friend, but everybody here is go-to person. And she could not be loved more.
Well, you are a beautiful lady, that's for sure. And what does it mean to have everyone here and to see that salute tonight?
Well, this family has been my greatest source of support, my husband and all of my siblings, and they get me through every day.
Well, you are a beautiful lady. She's just starting her journey of chemo, and we wish you nothing but the best. We also hope that the Tigers can get a win for her tonight, guys.
All right, Lindsay, thank you very much. An emotional night for sure for many that have been affected by cancer here in the Pink Out the Park. What a great effort tonight by the Tigers. 1 ball and 1 strike. There's the count on Carlos Santana. We're in the 6th. The Tigers lead 3-1. Trying to jump back into first place. They can win here tonight and helping a little help from Boston as well in Kansas City this evening. It's a ground ball to short. Suarez ranging left. 2 gone.
It's a perfect example here of almost picking the glove up too soon by Suarez. You're taught to keep that ball on the glove, that glove on the ground. He picked that glove up. That ball nearly came out of the glove.
That's 6 in a row retired by David Price.
And that's something that David does once you get him a lead. And he does not relinquish those leads very often.
Well, he's getting in such a good rhythm now. He's working quickly. He's getting quick outs. Not a lot of stress.
It's early in Boston too, in Kansas City, but the Boston Red Sox have a 2-0 lead over the Kansas City Royals, so that's good news.
A little bit outside, 1 ball, 1 strike. Yan Gomes, a couple of fly balls to center field in this game. Price leads the major leagues with 16 starts of 8 or more innings.
Yeah, that's why you got to pack that lunch.
And he's looking like he may do it again here tonight. He's going after these Indians hitters.
No disrespect to those that are fans of that quality start stat, 6 innings or more, 3 earned runs or less. But Price isn't, and he says that's not a good day's work for him.
I would tend to agree with him.
Oh, no doubt. He said it.
1-2 is popped up foul back out of play.
He's looking to go 7. He's looking to go 8 every time he goes out there.
Well, we mentioned the other night what a great job James Shields did for Kansas City and how the Royals went out and got big game James for those kind of games. Well, these two guys, David Price and James Shields, were teammates down in Tampa. They know each other very well. And guess what? The Tigers are looking for big game David.
New nickname.
And you know what? That's what he is for the Tigers, too. I mean, just another absolute blessing for this pitching staff.
Well, when you total up the numbers on a quality start, 3 earned runs or less in 6 innings equals a 4.50 ERA. So
yeah,
that's what Price is talking about. We need to do better than that. And he has done on many occasions.
His ERA hadn't seen 4 in a long time.
Fouled away again.
Yan Gomes having a real good year. 18 homers, 62 driven in. Playing every day for the very first time. For the most part, he stayed healthy. I mean, other than Salvador Perez from an offensive standpoint, he takes a backseat to no other catcher this year in the American League.
Not at all. It's been a really good year for him. That 5 RBIs in that Minnesota series they just completed. It'll bounce in and away.
I'm still trying to get to where he's from, too. I'm trying to get to Brazil.
Maybe this offseason, right?
It's on my bucket list.
Going to Rio?
Yeah, I'll go. You want to go?
Why not?
Well, while you guys are making travel plans here, I'll inform the fans it's 3-2 on Yan Gomes, the Brazilian native. And it's fouled straight back. The World Cup just finished up in Brazil. They've got the 2016 Summer Olympics. So make the plans around that, perhaps.
Well, it seems like it's the place to go.
There haven't been a whole lot of household names in the baseball world come out of Brazil, but things might come out of that.
Now David Price cruising along. He has retired the Indians 1-2-3 here in the 6th. Victor coming up when the Tigers hit in the bottom of the 6th inning. by Bell Tire. Get the lowest tire price, period. Bell Tire. Back here in the Motor City where the Tigers are on top 3-1 as we go to the bottom of the 6th inning at Comerica Park. Tigers trying to inch their way back into first place in the Central. And so far so good. Another big crowd here at the ballpark tonight. Victor Martinez leading it off. Martinez, then J.D. Martinez, and Alex Avila facing right-hander Carlos Carrasco. Victor, a couple of ground outs, 0 for 2. Bouncing ball left side. He'll find a seam into left field. Leadoff man on. We check back at the studio now with Justin White. Justin, thanks very much. Well, the Tigers, as you can see, can jump back into first place if that score holds up in this one. Zepchinski is the lefty. C.C. Lee is the righty. There's activity now for the Indians. Tigers trying to build on their 3-1 lead. J.D. Martinez, 2-run shot. He's the difference tonight. 21st of the year for Martinez. Chopper right back to the mound. He dropped it, and he's going to have only one play.
I could see that coming. That ball was hit right off the end. It had tremendous amount of spin. Carrasco took his eye off the ball momentarily, trying to pick up whoever was going to be at second base. See that spin right there? Right off the end. Ball just pops out of his glove. He never actually squeezed in it. Takes a possible double play ball away. He has to get the single out at first base.
Here is Avila. We'll see if the Tigers can take advantage. Alex a walk and a strikeout.
Something the Tigers did very well in the first couple of games in that Kansas City Royals series. They took advantage of every mistake that Kansas City made, which is what really good teams do.
The Royals were kicking the ball around a little bit, weren't they?
They sure were.
Guys like Hosmer at first base. Typically a very good defender. Vila waiting on the 1-0. 1 ball, 1 strike. Each ball club down with 6 hits in this game. Tigers fell behind 1-0, but now lead 3-1. Outside, 2 balls, 1 strike.
That pitch count now creeping up a little bit. That's why Terry Francona's got a little activity. He knows the importance of this game. He's going to do everything he can as a manager to make sure his team has a chance to win it.
Avila didn't like that call. 2-2.
Surprised that Gomes was able to snatch that ball off the plate and pull it back into the strike zone. As far as he was able to do that and still get the strike call there against Avila. Umpires don't mind you pulling it back a little bit, but not 4 inches.
It's a foul tip into the glove for a strikeout. 2 away, and we tell you Red Wings Hockey Fest returns to the Joe. Join us Sunday, September 14th for an unforgettable day of hockey activities, including Red Wings player and alumni autographs, Q&A sessions, games, photos, and a whole lot more. Don't miss all the fun. Get your tickets today at DetroitRedWings.com.
And Mickey Callaway, the pitching coach, out there having a conversation with Carrasco. And also Lonnie Chisenhall is there listening along with Yan Gomes with the base open. They just want to make sure that there's not a mistake made to Nick Castellanos, with Suarez being the on-deck hitter. No disrespect to Suarez, but Castellanos has had a better offensive year.
Castellanos a single and a strikeout in this one.
That's one of those things you might have to do to a pitcher that has not pitched all that long in the big leagues versus a veteran pitcher being out there. If it's a veteran pitcher, well, they're just going to pitch around him. I thought maybe they would pitch around him, but they're just going to walk him.
Intentional walk for Nick.
Don't quite understand the purpose of that trip to the mound.
Exactly. I'm thinking the same thing. If you're going to walk him, why not just walk him?
Yeah, I mean, you're going to go out. I don't think they asked Carrasco, you know, what he wanted to do. I think this was predetermined by Terry Francona.
But do you think that possibly that was the fact that he went out there and Callaway just wanted to refresh his memory on how they want to pitch to Suarez?
Maybe that's it.
Third intentional walk of the season for Castellanos.
Possibly could have had a conversation like this. All right, after we walk Castellanos, remember, this is how we're going to go at Suarez.
How often were you asked to walk somebody intentionally as opposed to being told to walk somebody intentionally?
Well, I was told, period. I mean, you know, if you're going to ask me, I'm not walking anybody. You know, bullheaded, silly young men are always thinking that they can get everybody out. Now, I might pitch around a guy, but that's different than intentionally walking him.
Suarez hits a ground ball to third. Looks like it's going to work. It does. So no runs. Hit a walk. 2 men left. Let's go to the seventh.
Watch some of the pitches that David Price is throwing, and one of the things that I enjoy more than anything else is watching from the center field camera where a catcher sets up and how many times a pitcher hits that catcher's glove. David Price has been spot on so many times tonight. He's got 6 strikeouts, and you can see that he is in some kind of good rhythm again.
Here are the numbers on Price. 17 of 23 first pitch strikes, 6 innings. No walks, 6 strikeouts.
Yeah, he's had only a couple of 3 ball counts in this game.
He has set down 7 straight Cleveland Indians. Here's Jason Kipnis. Ball 1 high.
Kipnis missed some time with that oblique, the dreaded oblique injury this year, and he's confessed that it really hasn't gone away. He's just learned to live with it this year, hoping that this offseason will completely heal it.
1-1 the count. It seems like every team, when you look at their injury report and their transaction report, has one or two guys this year that have dealt with that injury. It has been prevalent around baseball. The 1-1.
I call it the mystery injury.
Base hit to right field.
Here's our high-speed pitch, and it's always brought to you by Xfinity. David Price, tonight's top fastball, has gotten up to 94 miles an hour. He's gone as low as 78, and more than likely with his curveball here this evening.
So here's Rayburn, who is responsible for 2 of their hits and their only run so far, the home run back in the second. Soft line drive caught by Kinsler. Leaping play.
Nice job there by Kinsler, timing his leap, picking that ball up at the very top. Total extension. Robin Rayburn of his 3rd hit of the game.
It's another changeup there.
Bring up Chisenhall. Lonnie 1 out of 2 in this ball game. Singled back in the second, hitting .356 now against Tigers pitching. Back on June 11th, Chisenhall was batting .393. He had gotten off to a red hot start and has slowed considerably in the second half. Kipnis down at first base. 22 steals this year. This ball club trailing by 2 in the 7th. One ball, one strike. Indians have not scored since getting 1 in the second. Price has been dominant since. In there, a strike. Dave has been able to pitch into the 8th inning in 4 of his 7 previous starts with the Tigers. He's at 92 pitches right now. Swing and a miss. You got him in chase.
Paint job right there. Absolutely dotted Alex Avila's glove. He's sitting away. You can see that Chisenhall was, his hips and legs were gone. He was looking middle half in, and all he could do was flail at that ball with his hands.
7 Price strikeouts. Here's Mike Aviles. Bouncing ball to short. Suarez will flip to Kinsler for the force. And nothing comes of the leadoff single. No runs, 1 hit, 1 left. Coming up, the Health Plus 7th inning stretch. Anibal Sanchez throwing on flat ground, and I guess you got to start somewhere.
You got to start somewhere. There's nowhere to send him in the minor leagues right now because they're all wrapped up for the year. So he's going to have to figure out a way to get some work in, and I imagine that'll include maybe a simulated outing or two.
Yeah, the Tigers have a lot of young players up here, a lot of guys they've called up from the minor league. So if they wanted to get Anibal Sanchez on the mound, he could throw to guys like Collins and Moya, and there's several other guys that he could throw to.
In the meantime, here is Rajai Davis starting it off in the bottom of the 7th. 3-1. Tigers have the lead, and Davis lines one sinking in right field, and Rayburn with a sliding play.
That's a nice play by Ryan Rayburn, because no doubt if that ball gets past him, it's a double possible single for Rajai Davis. And even if he plays it on one hop, usually it's a double for Rajai because he's going to steal second. Nice diving play by the former Tiger.
Rajai, a look of disappointment. Not so for Carrasco. Thank you very much, he says. Here's Ian Kinsler, the top of the Tigers line. RBI double back in the 3rd for Kinsler. We'll pop that one up. Long run for Santana. Could he get there? Tough play, unable to make it.
That is one of your more difficult plays for your third baseman and also your first baseman, when you take off down in foul territory, running away from action, trying to make that over-the-shoulder grab. Who was that? Brandon Inge? Brandon Inge was outstanding at making that play right there.
One of the best. Oh, 1 on Kinsler.
Surprised we hadn't seen Brandon Inge out here at the ballpark. I think he still lives here locally.
Drilled to center field. It's going to drop in. Base hit. One on, one out. Fans, every game counts. Deposits are now being taken for postseason luxury suite packages. All packages include a credit to be used toward a 2015 suite package. Call 313-471-2222 for more information. Terry Francona coming out. And it looks like he's going to take the baseball with him. And Carrasco will depart. Wall side windows pitching change. So the Indians go to the bullpen. And we'll be back. Your photo to hashtag Detroit Fan Photo for a chance to have it shown in an upcoming game broadcast. It is brought to you by AT&T. New pitcher on now for Cleveland. That would be C.C. Lee.
Yeah, Yeah, let's see the numbers there for CC. He's ironically got better numbers against left-handed hitters than he does right-handed hitters. But he's making his 30th appearance for the Tribe here.
Lee was called back up in early August, his 4th stint with the Indians, as you look at the numbers on Carrasco to this point.
Not a lot of history between Torrey Hunter and Lee. Torrey's seen him one time, and Lee was able to retire T. Hunter.
Hunter is 0 for 3. Runner goes. Fouled away.
It's too bad that Torrey swung at that, unless it was a hit and run, because if it wasn't a hit and run, then Ian Kinsler wouldn't have needed to slide at second base. That's how big a jump Ian got off of first base. In between innings, there's Wally Joyner giving Torrey Hunter the scouting report on CC Lee. So Torrey well aware of everything that Lee does feature and what count he throws it in, what it'll start you off with. They've got all the numbers down there. You just have to be smart enough to digest the numbers you want and get rid of the other ones that really aren't all that important.
Lee replacing Carrasco after the single by Ian Kinsler. Opponents batting just .188 with runners on base against Lee. Sling one outside, 1 ball, 1 strike. 3-1 Tigers lead. We're in the 7th. Carrasco hoping that Lee can strand Kinsler.
If you are going to try to steal a base, and with Gomes behind the plate, you better get a pretty good jump. Gomes, although he's made a lot of errors this year, he is one of your better throwing catchers in baseball. That's how good his arm is. They time catchers on their throws down to second base by the time the ball hits their glove until the time it gets to either the shortstop or the second baseman. And Yan Gomes is usually under 2. 2 is pretty good, but he's usually 1/8, 1/9 seconds getting the ball down to the second base bag.
A little bit low. 3-1. 1-8 is Pudge Rodriguez territory, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Salvador Perez, Yadier Molina. There's been a few around that have had outstanding arms like that. Charles Johnson of the Florida Marlins used to be an outstanding thrower as well.
Runner goes. All 4. Hunter gets a walk, and the Tigers threatening now.
CC Lee comes in and walks the first man he faces in Torrey Hunter. Tigers have something cooking here, and Terry Francona is not sitting well with him. Carrasco has pitched a pretty darn good game, and you got the heart of the lineup coming up here. You certainly don't want to have base runners.
Well, there's no doubt that CC Lee will work at the bottom of the strike zone with his sinker ball and his breaking ball. He's not overpowering. He's not going to overpower Miggy at the top of the strike zone. Therefore, he'll be trying to throw that ground ball, which would get him out of this inning.
0-1.
Start him off with a little slider there.
Miguel is such a smart hitter. He doesn't look at a lot of scouting reports. He simply goes on memory. Any pitcher that he's gone up against in the past, he simply knows what he did against you, what you threw to him. And he's already picked out a pitch that he wants to hit from Lee.
Now he's down in the count 0-2.
And he just got it and he missed it. That 92-mile-per-hour sink piece at the bottom of the strike zone. Watch Miggy slap the bat. He was looking for it, just didn't get it.
Sinker that didn't sink. It was flat.
One and two now on Cabrera. Martinez due next with only one out. Each ball club with 7 hits. Each ball club has stranded 5. Tigers lead by 2. Runner at second base, Kinsler, is the responsibility of the starter, Carrasco. Got him, strike 3. Cabrera caught looking.
He started Miguel off with this big breaking ball that he just threw there to finish him off with. Kind of froze Miggy there.
Carrasco likes it, and now with 2 outs, here is Victor Martinez. One more major hurdle for Lee to jump over. .319 this year for Victor with runners in scoring position.
That's the beauty of the lineup that Brad Ausmus can run out there. You've got Cabrera and then Martinez, Victor, and JD as of late. Got 3 chances to pick up those runs. One of them was bound to do it. Right now, Victor has the chance that Miguel didn't pick up that RBI.
Well, if you're the Indian, it's kind of like pick your poison. I mean, Miguel has tremendous career numbers against the Tribe. Victor, since he left Cleveland, he's worn them out. And JD Martinez has been on another planet this season against Tribe pitching. If JD Martinez wasn't so hot and performing so well against the Tribe, and then you would simply use that open base that you have right now against Victor. He's already driven in 96 this year, so if you try to get him out in the strike zone, there's a good chance you might give up another hit or 2. And with David Price on the mound, you're guaranteed to lose this game today.
The 1-1. Tap slowly foul.
And as a pitcher, you really have the luxury of trying to figure that for yourself. You don't need to have the manager or the pitching coach come out to let you know to be careful with the guy. You've got to understand, look at, I've got a base open. Do I want to really attack the hitter knowing that Victor Martinez is one of the game's best? Obviously, JD is a guy that's red hot right now and done well against your own ball club, but individually, every pitcher knows, just like hitters know pitchers, pitchers know hitters, and he's got a choice of who he really wants to attack because all he needs is 1 out.
Here's where Victor gets good, though, after 2 strikes.
Ground ball, base hit, left field. Kinsler rounding third. They send him home. The throw to the plate, off target. RBI single for Martinez.
And good base running right behind that. Torrey Hunter understanding that Mike Avila's going to throw the ball home. Did not hit the cutoff man, so he was off to third base. He picks up the extra base. Good base running.
The fact that JD Martinez has been so good this year, they had an open base, and CC Lee decided to go after Victor Martinez because of that fact, and Martinez made him pay, driving in another run. And we mentioned it, as David Price is on the mound, it's going to be very difficult for them to come back. We also well documented the fact that Victor does not strike out very often, and he's an outstanding 2-strike hitter.
That'll close the book on Carrasco now. He ends up giving up 4 runs.
Another multi-hit game for Victor. RBI single makes it 4-1. The strike called on JD. Two-run shot back in the 4th. His 6th home run this season versus Cleveland pitching. Down the right field line, going to the corner, and back out of play.
Let's take a look at the Jimmy John freaky fast delivery of the game. Carlos Carrasco, their starter. That's an 0-1 fastball, about 93. Most of his fastballs had registered 95 and above, but he took a little bit off of that one, and J.D. Martinez hit his 21st home run of the year.
Now J.D. behind in the count, 0-2. That home run that Martinez hit was the 23rd the Tigers have hit against the Indians this year as a club. So they've hit more homers versus Cleveland than any other team this season. Tonight, with men in scoring position, 3 out of 9. Two and two the count.
And prior to this game here tonight, they had split the 16 meetings this year. And Cleveland's won 8. The Tigers have won 8. But the Tigers lately have won 4 or 5 against the Cleveland Indians.
Fly ball hit well, right center field. That ball's hit a ton, and that ball is up against the wall. Martinez on his way to third. It's a 2-run triple for J.D. What a night. Six-1 Tigers.
CC Lee able to get ahead of J.D. Martinez. No balls, 2 strikes. J.D. Martinez got a breaking ball, but look at the concentration. Keeping the head down, pulling the hands close to the body, and barreling it up to right center field for his 3rd triple of this season, and he just continues to wear out Tribe pitching.
Martinez will be lifted for a pinch runner, but he has 4 RBIs tonight, 69 in the year. CC Lee is done. And it's a pitching change here at Comerica. 6-1 Detroit. Another wall side windows pitching change. We'll be back.
His hands close to his body with 2 strikes, and he just simply tried to put it in play. Inside out swing that found that seam in right center field, and he does not get many triples, but he smelt this one and was able to get over there.
You hit that ball to right center field, and you've got a little bit of speed. You've got yourself a chance at a 3-bagger. Martinez won a night, a 4 RBI night for J.D.
Hopefully that will be the knockout blow for David Price. That's all he should need. He's been so good deep into games. Tigers have a comfortable lead right now.
Ezekiel Carrera is the pinch runner.
Numbers right there for Zipchinski. He's been used a lot by Terry Francona. This is his 65th game. Very good ERA. He's in there to get a left-hander out.
2 outs, the runner at third. Little ground ball hit the third base. Fair ball. And no play for Chisenhall. Another run scored.
Sometimes it's better to be lucky than good. They finally hit a ball down there that Chisenhall couldn't make the play on.
Avila will take it.
Oh, there's no doubt about that. All day, every day. And twice on Sunday. Little breaking ball right off the end of the bat, and that ball happened to stay fair. And Chisenhall playing off the line at third base, not able to get there. And even if he would have gotten there, then he wouldn't have thrown Avila out.
Terry Francona back out. Like you mentioned, Zipchinski just out there to get out the left-hander Avila.
Yeah, he's a situational guy.
Well, the situation right now is he's being taken out of the game after giving up that infield hit to Avila. Castellanos coming up. Another pitching change here at Comerica. We'll be back. East leading Orioles. Then on Fox Sports 1, the Padres battle the Diamondbacks. The action starts at 12:30 Eastern on Fox and then continues at 7:30 Eastern on Fox Sports 1 and streaming live on Fox Sports Go. Well, the crowd back into it here. The Tigers have broken this one open. 7-1 ball game now as Josh Tomlin comes in.
Well, Terry going back to his right-hander. There's the numbers this year for Tomlin. He did have a few starts. He's got a lot of innings in this year.
And Tomlin facing Nick Castellanos. This has turned into a 4-run inning for Detroit.
Yeah, Nick Castellanos, he loves to feast on first pitch fastballs. Tomlin knows that. Yan Gomes, their catcher, also knows that. But do they dare throw him that fastball over the plate?
Breaking ball bounced to third. Gobbled up there by Chisenhall. His throw is in time. Castellanos is out. That will end the inning. Tigers send 8 men to the plate. The biggest bat tonight. It belongs to J.D. Martinez. 2-run triple. Tigers have broken it open. Quite a few insurance runs here. They lead it 7-1. 7 runs on 10 Detroit hits in this contest. Got some defensive changes for Detroit. Don Kelly comes on now. He'll play third base for the Tigers. Castellanos out of the ball game. Rajay Davis will slide over to the left, and that means Ezequiel Carrera is the new center fielder. And David Price still on the mound. And that is no one's surprise.
We talked about it, how David Price can really get deep into games. He's doing it again here tonight. He's finally got the run support. Be nice to see him get through this inning unscathed. There is some activity in the Tiger pen.
Johnson and Hardy, the righty-lefty combination, warming up. Strike one on Michael Bourne.
95th pitch for David Price.
Bourne slaps it in the air toward left. Davis backing up, and one gone. So Bourne is 0 for 4 in this game.
2 pitch out. That's the way to do it. Your team just scores you 4. It's deep in the game. Go after that first hitter, throw a couple pitches. Thank you very much.
If David can get a couple of more outs here, it would mark his 17th start of 8 innings or more. Jose Ramirez looks at a strike, 0-1. Out of the outside corner there. 0-2. David Price tonight has had 12 at bats of 2 pitches or fewer.
That's exactly what he tries to do. Even though he can be overpowering, he wants you to make contact early. That allows him to pitch deep in games. That's why he's pitched into the 8th inning so many times this year. A lot of early contact. And because of that, he also gives up a lot of hits.
Gave up a homer to Rayburn in the 2nd, but that's been it. Here's his 100th pitch of the night. Just outside, 2-2.
As good as David Price is, he's a guy that you would not think would have given up over 200 hits this year, but he has, because he throws the ball so close to the plate all the time, and opposing teams just swing early and often.
Fouled away. Price at one point had retired 7 straight, then he gave up a leadoff single in the 7th inning. We've got the next 3 hitters.
It's a lot like Rick Porcello. You know, opposing teams swing early and often against Porcello as well. Because he throws so many strikes, he's able to dot that catcher's glove on most nights.
See if somebody can get to this ball. It's in foul ground. No chance.
Well, David Price going to give up some hits because he's throwing the baseball more than anybody else. He leads the league in innings, strikeouts, 243 coming into tonight's game. He's got 7, so that's at 250 now. Yeah, he's coming after you. There's no real. He's fearless. He's a guy that knows and trusts in his ability, trusts in his defense.
Another foul back out of play. Jose Ramirez, an infield single in 3 at bats in this game for the Indians. These two teams have met 16 times this year. They've got 3 more to go, counting tonight, and they've split the season series right down the middle, 8-8. Ground ball to third, ranging to his right, Don Kelly.
Take a look at some of the pitches from David Price and his location. That's what makes him such a great pitcher. All these shots we're going to show you here. Alex Avila is just holding his glove, and David just banging that glove. Doesn't matter if it's a breaking ball or a fastball. He seems to have that kind of command again tonight. That's what allows a guy to have the success David Price has. They always say pitching is throwing the ball where you want to. That's not throwing, that's pitching. When you can hit that glove, you got a plan.
Ball 1 to Brantley. Single and 3 at-bats for Michael Brantley. And another hit for Brantley.
And even that pitch right there was where David Price was trying to throw it. You tip your hat. Brantley went down and got it, but he threw the ball right to the glove.
It's going to be it for David Price. Santana coming up. And Brad Ausmus will go to the bullpen. 106 pitches tonight. David Price about to get himself a nice round of applause, and much deserved. Summary tonight. Tigers leading comfortably 7-1 in this one. JD Martinez 6 homers, 18 RBIs this year against India's pitching. Price awfully good tonight, and Kinsler and Victor Martinez 2 hits and an RBI each. And you total that all up, David Price looking pretty good for a win right now. So Tigers trying to finish this one off. Carlos Santana will step in, facing Jim Johnson. Santana's 0 for 3.
Take a look at the numbers for Jim Johnson. He's done better as of late, and the Tigers need him in this role. Get that bullpen ironed out a little bit. It's going to be a lot brighter picture as they move forward.
It's a nice gamble by Dave Dombrowski, the general manager of the Tigers. He also acts as the president and CEO. To acquire a guy like Jim Johnson, knowing the success he's had the last couple of years, over 100 saves with the Baltimore Orioles, you don't all of a sudden forget how to pitch. He's still got a good fastball, 93, 94 with some late life. He's a bigger guy than I thought, too. You walk next to him, he's a big boy.
Well, he's always had the good sinker and a good over-the-top breaking ball. Those are his bread and butter pitches.
And you looking at his numbers there, the numbers you just read, what has hurt him this year is the fact that he's lacked confidence. Because he's usually a guy that doesn't walk a lot of batters, but he's almost walked as many as he has struck out this year. Most of those numbers came with the Oakland Athletics.
Yeah, Oakland was so high on. They thought they got themselves the bona fide closer that he's been for the Orioles all the years.
A steal.
Yeah.
2-2 on Carlos Santana. 2-out single by Brantley has brought Johnson into the game, and a ground ball right back at Suarez. He'll take it himself. Johnson gets it done, gets a ground ball. We'll go to the bottom of the 8th. Ahead to tomorrow in game 2 in this series. It'll be Kyle Lobstein for the Tigers. He's been really good for Detroit. And Danny Salazar is going to go for the Indians.
And Kyle Lobstein had a really nice start the last time that he saw the Tribe. He struck out 10 Cleveland Indians in less than 6 innings. And Danny Salazar, he's got a big arm. His fastball will get up to 97, 98. He's got the secondary pitches to go along with that.
Got some changes now. Jesus Aguilar has come into the ball game for Cleveland. He'll play first. Justin Sellers is the shortstop. First pitch sinks in for a strike. And the new center fielder is Tyler Holt. Both teams with a 7-1 score making some changes.
Well, Terry Francona getting some of his veterans off their feet here tonight after playing a doubleheader yesterday and basically conceding this game here today, down by 6 in the bottom half of the 8th inning to the Tigers, getting his guys rested up for tomorrow night.
Suarez with a wave and a miss, 1-2.
Tomlin not overpowering. He moves the ball around the strike zone. He's got a nice little cutter, nice little breaking ball. Started the season in the rotation, moved to the bullpen.
Here's the 2-2. Right back up the middle and fielded there by Sellers. 1 out. Well, September the 25th. Now mark that date down in your calendar. First 10,000 fans receive a green Tigers hat as we celebrate halfway to St. Patrick's Day when the Tigers battle the Minnesota Twins at 7:08. For tickets, visit Tigers.com or call 866-66-TIGER.
I guess any reason to throw a party halfway to St. Patty's Day.
Any reason indeed. There's Rajai Davis now with 1 out. Strike called on Davis, who is 0 for 3 in this contest. Rajay batting .283. Now the 0-1. Yeah, there's his first hit of the night. Line drive single to right field. Fans, don't forget to join us again tomorrow when the Tigers continue their series with the Indians. Our coverage begins at 6 with Tigers Live. Tigers Tribe tomorrow at 6. You'll see it right here on Fox Sports Detroit. Now Ian Kinsler. One on Kinsler. That was, by the way, the 11th hit of the night for the Tigers. 8 for the Indians. The big difference in this one, a 4-run 7th for Detroit, highlighted by a 2-run triple by J.D. Martinez. One ball, one strike.
It's almost a must for Tomlin to pitch inside on occasion to make the hitters uncomfortable. And you can simply go back in there if you like with an 89-mile-per-hour fastball, but what it does is it usually opens up the outside corner should you be able to locate that breaking ball, that cutter. Double up inside.
He's not afraid to go in there.
Two and one.
So many times when you watch a hitter at this level go inside, the next pitch is simply something off the plate outside or on the corner outside. Very few guys double up with their fastballs inside.
Popped up. Sellers, the shortstop. 2 gone. Hey, the most popular way to follow the September pennant races is with MLB.com at Bat, the #1 app for live baseball. Enjoy live look-ins, replay, reviews, scores, live radio broadcasts, and more. Get the app for your smartphone or tablet at the App Store or visit MLB.com. Either way. Here's Torrey Hunter. Oh for 3 for Hunter. He has a walk and a run scored. Tigers have been able to get it done with men in scoring position tonight. 5 for 11. Here is Tomlin's 1-0.
Torrey Hunter has 15 home runs this year, and back on July 20th, Tomlin served up one of those. Tigers have really trotted around the bases a lot this year against Tribe pitching. They've hit a lot of homers against them.
23 home runs versus Cleveland pitching this year. The 23rd being the J.D. Martinez home run tonight. Did I mention, Jack, that he was my player of the game?
You know, it's probably a pretty good call on your part.
Well, you got to finish the game. He's out now, right?
Oh, well, there's no rule that says he's got to finish the game.
All right. All right.
Because David Price is out of the game, too.
Well, neither of you guys can win tonight. I guess I'm the leader in the clubhouse.
Oh, boy.
Look at you working the rules.
I thought you had to play 9. 27 outs.
No such rule. Now Tomlin with the 1-2. That's in the air. Right field. Long run. Rayburn almost got there.
That was a long, long run for Ryan.
And he almost got to that ball.
He did. Torrey Hunter with new life. Take a look at how far he had to run for it. I guess when you run that far, you got to die.
No doubt. That was a $5 cab ride to get to that ball.
With a tip. Torrey waiting on a 1-2.
to center field. Holt is under it. That'll be it for the Tigers here in the 8th. That means we go to the 9th. Score right here in the top of the 9th inning with a preview of what's coming up on Tigers Live a little bit later on. Here's Lindsay Hayes.
Hi, guys. Well, it is a perfect night down at Comerica Park for Pink Out the Park night. Tigers offense obviously getting it done for the fans that are all down here supporting breast cancer awareness this evening. Also, we're going to hear from JD Martinez on his hot night at the plate. We're also going to get David Price's reaction to hopefully, if the Tigers can hold this one out, him getting his 2nd win here at Comerica Park. Brad Osmus, we're going to talk with him, and also Justin White and Craig Monroe will break down these highlights. That's all coming up on Tigers Live. Back to you.
Lindsay, thank you very much. 3 outs to go for the Tigers, 7-1 in favor of Detroit. Seven runs, 11 hits for Detroit, 1 run, 8 hits for the Indians. Johnson trying to close this one out. Jim got the final out of the 8th. And a ball outside to Yan Gomes. Tigers 3 outs away from their 81st victory of the season. And Kansas City, as Justin White just told you, trailing tonight at home. Here's the 1-1. Ground ball to third. Don Kelly to his left. Gomes is out. 1 away.
Well, it looked like Don stumbled a little bit there, but he stayed with it. Made a strong throw over offline a little bit. Victor's there to catch the ball and wait for Gomes. Tags him out. Important first out of every inning. Johnson trying to get back on track, gaining some confidence.
Here's Kipnis. It sinks low, 1-0. Singled for 3 tonight for Kipnis. 1 ball, 1 strike. Rayburn due up next, but Jason Giambi has moved to the on-deck circle. The 1-1 is in there. 1-2 now on Kipnis. Here's the veteran Giambi. The whiskers are gray these days.
43 years young for Giambi.
Slow tap, second base side. Kinsler charging. 2 gone.
Mario, what's your point about the gray whiskers?
I should have considered the guy sitting to my right, but I didn't. Sorry about that, Jeff.
Well, your point is he's still playing.
He's still playing, right?
And that's very nice.
He's still going strong. So Giambi's their last chance. Crowd to its feet now. Fouled away 0-1. .148 this year for Giambi. A couple of home runs. Strike call. Now it's 0-2.
If they can get Johnson to pitch the way that he's pitched the last 3-4 times he's gone out there with that sinker at 92 to 94, an occasional breaking ball, but the one thing that he has done for the Tigers, he's pounded that strike zone.
1-2 the count on Giambi.
Heavy sink on his ball. That's what most hitters would tell you.
Two and two. And sinking way low. Well, Soria's back in the fold now, coming back from injury. He's back in the bullpen for Detroit. Johnson trying to finish this one off. And it's fouled back out of play. No shortage of guys in the Tigers bullpen that have closed out games in their career.
Johnson, Soria, Nathan. Get a little friendly rivalry going out there and trying to one-up each other, get on a roll. It'll be all good news for Detroit.
Here's the 2-2. Giambi hanging on.
That seems to be what most really good bullpens do these days. They've got guys out there that have a history of closing games out, guys that will pitch the 7th, 8th, and 9th innings on any respective night. Game has changed.
Avila blocks it. 3-2 now on Giambi.
It's turned into a nice at bat by Jason Giambi.
In his career, Giambi's hit a lot of home runs, 440, which is 41st all time. And he draws the walk. 2-out pinch hit walk for Giambi. That'll keep it going here in the 9th inning. For Lonnie Chisenhall. He's got a 1-for-3 tonight. Drilled to the gap in right center field. That ball's going to get down, and it's going to go all the way to the wall. Giambi rumbling toward third base. They're going to try and score him. Throw coming to third. Giambi is in there standing up. It's a double and an RBI for Lonnie Chisenhall.
Had Kinsler turned and threw that ball to home instead of throwing that ball to third base with Giambi lumbering around third, they may have had a shot at him.
Yeah, he was running out of gas.
He was. That's a fastball right down the middle that Chisenhall gets a hold of and whistles the gap in right center field. But take a look at Ian Kinsler. Once he gets the ball from the outfielder Carrera, he just simply turns and throws to third. But had he thrown that ball home, they might have got Giambi. There he is, he's lumbering.
Gas tank on E right about here.
That piano jumped on his back about right there too.
The red light came on.
I love you, Jason.
He still beat Rusty Stubb by 14 months.
Rusty not very fast, was
Oh
he?
my. I saw guys in right field throw him out way too many times.
Walter's pinch hitting now. 7-2 ball
Get
game.
the oxygen out. I guess they're laughing down there at him, so we can laugh at him too.
0-1 on Zach Walters. 6 homers this year. He couldn't hold up. 0-2. $38,341 in attendance tonight on Pink Out the Park night. Here's the 0-2. Outside, 1-2 on Walters. Zach came over from the Nationals in that deal involving Asdrubal Cabrera. Foul back. Joakim Soria just in case, heating up in the Detroit bullpen. The Tigers 1 strike away from shutting this one down. Ball game over. Walters strikes out looking, and the Tigers win game 1 in this series with Cleveland.
Well, just like we promised you earlier in the game, it's Miller time, and it is brought to you by Miller Lite. J.D. Martinez continues his assault on Tribe pitching. He connected for his 21st home run of the year, 6th of the year against the Tribe, and then he did one better. That was later on in the contest. He took a breaking ball and flipped it the opposite way for his 3rd triple and his 3rd RBI of the night.
So with the Tiger win right now, pending the outcome of the KC game, the Tigers in a virtual tie right now with the Royals for first place. And at last word, they were trailing at home against Boston. The Indians fall a half game farther behind at 4.5. We'll be back to Comerica Park.